good friends just made a podcast. Two good friends just made a podcast. Two good friends just made a podcast. It's called Culture Bucket. Two good friends just made a podcast. Two good friends just made a podcast. Two good friends just made a podcast. Culture Bucket, Georgia and Alex.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the greatest podcast in the entire universe, Culture Bucket, where two best friends talk about nonsense and popular culture, movies, music, all the rest of it, books, games sometimes. It's good stuff. I am your host, George, and I will be talking today about the Bob's Burgers movie, along with other recent popular culture stuff, but I can't do it on my own, so I am with my co-host, your other host, Alex.
Hi, George. Hi, everyone.
Hi. How are you?
How you doing, George? Oh, it's my turn this time.
Yeah, go on.
I'm very good. Thank you very much. It's very warm, which is strange, you know.
It's not warm here.
No?
No.
But yeah, all is good.
I mean, it's a little bit warm because I put the heating on.
Oh, have you put the heating on?
Yes, I'm going to sell.
I'm
going to sell one of my kidneys later.
Are you
to
not
cover the
worried about
costs.
that? Oh my goodness.
I know it's cold. I'm cold.
Why do you need to? You need to just layer it up.
Yeah, one little.
Get your blankets. Get your coats.
1 little hour of heating. I'm treating myself.
How are you doing today, George?
Good. Good. Nothing to report. Nothing major going on.
No.
Yeah, it's all fine. The world is fine.
Yeah, everything is funky dory.
Yes. So yeah, let's just
great times.
talk about the stuff we like.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's very good.
Yeah. So in a minute we will do our culture catch-up, but before that, one more time, if you enjoy this podcast, please give it a like by rating and reviewing it on the podcast app of your choice. Maybe that's Spotify, maybe that's Apple Podcasts. It's probably Apple Podcasts, but whatever you want to do, it's fine. But go and tell the world that you like our podcast. And if you don't like our podcast, just it's better to say nothing, isn't it? If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all, right?
Yeah.
And stop listening now if you don't like it. No, give it more of a chance, actually, because it might turn out. If this is your first episode, maybe it will turn around for you once you get used to the timbre of our voices and the tenor of our conversation. Okay.
Ooh. Nice words, George.
Thank you. So yeah, we don't have any new reviews to read, but next time we get a new written review, you can guarantee I'll be reading it out on here and name checking the kind person who wrote it. So why don't you make that be you? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Culture catch-up time?
I think so.
Okay, good.
This is Culture Catch-Up time. This is where we talk about what we've watched, what we've read, what we've listened to, and probably some other stuff. Culture Catch-Up time.
So it's Culture Catch-Up time now. I just choked a little bit.
On what?
Nothing. I just forgot how to breathe momentarily. That tea is too hot to drink.
I bought some Pukka tea because I was really jealous of your Pukka tea.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like €4.95. And then this morning I wanted like a nice 3 mint tea. And I took the bag out of the little sachet.
Yeah.
And it broke.
What?
I was devastated.
Yeah,
It just went...
How did that happen?
I have no idea. Maybe I'm not used to Pukka tea anymore. Maybe I'm not worthy of Pukka tea.
Yeah, maybe. Did you try again?
I did have another one, but that was a very expensive morning of tea.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, it's 2 boxes for £5 at the moment in Tesco. So.
Oh well, here's 1 box for €4.95.
Yeah.
Great times.
Culture catch up. I've got some movies, some TV, some music, a game. I've got the whole gamut.
Have you got a book?
No. I've got most of the gamut.
Yeah.
Of culture. Okay, so a couple of movies. I haven't been watching many movies lately because there's been so many TV shows to watch.
Yeah.
Between
same.
yeah, Lord of the Rings, House of the Dragon, She-Hulk, The Bear, Taskmaster.
Taskmaster.
Yeah.
Taskmaster.
Taskmaster. I didn't finish the last season of that, so I'm catching up on that. Harley Quinn. Yeah, so much. But last night I watched 2 movies, so I can talk about both of them today. The first one was the latest movie in the franchise Halloween, which, if anyone has listened to this podcast for a while, they know that I am a big fan of that. There's been many Halloween movies across many different timelines. This one is the David Gordon Green timeline, started in 2018 with Halloween, which was a direct sequel to the original Halloween, brought Jamie Lee Curtis back into the fold. I've talked about that one on this podcast before at some point. I love it. I think it's great. The second one, Halloween Kills, came out last year, received pretty negatively, largely, but I really enjoyed it still. And if the 2018 Halloween was an examination of what it's like to create a cage for yourself and live your life in fear, as Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode had done in that movie, and the second movie examines the effects of trauma on a community by having a lot of people run around yelling "Evil dies tonight" over and over again in a rather silly way. But it was enjoyable. This movie is about how, I guess, I think if you treat somebody like they're a boogeyman, will it turn them into a boogeyman? That's the plot of this new one. It's called Halloween Ends. It's the final film in this trilogy, supposedly the final Halloween movie, but it definitely isn't.
But it ends.
Yeah.
This is on the title. Halloween Ends.
It's the last David Gordon Green one, and it definitively ends this version of the world, but they'll just find another way to do more. Almost definitely. But for now, I imagine we won't get another Halloween film for a while, at least. This one follows, it's hard to describe it. So it follows Jamie Lee Curtis's Laurie Strode, who spent most of the last film in a hospital bed. In this one, it's 4 years later. Michael Myers has vanished after the finale of the last film, and she has overcome her trauma somewhat, is living in a house with her granddaughter, Alison, whose mother was killed by Michael Myers at the climax of the previous movie, and whose father was killed in the first film, so she's an orphan living with her grandmother. And they meet a young man called Corey, who you see in the opening scene of this movie undergo a very traumatic event, which has severely affected his life. And through shared trauma, he connects with Laurie and Alison. And the film really pretty much follows those 3 characters, and mainly Corey, who's a new character for this film, and actually doesn't feature as much of the masked Michael Myers as you would expect a Halloween film to, which is an interesting choice. It's had terrible reviews, not done well critically so far. It's only out this weekend, so we don't know how it's done financially yet, but yeah, not well received at all. I didn't have the best time with it. I think it's the worst of these new 3 films.
Okay.
But it still looks very nice. It's still fairly competently made, although it's got a variety of weird scenes in it that have a very strange energy that almost feel like something out of Tim and Eric's bedtime stories, which I talked about the other week.
Yeah.
Characters having conversations that you can't quite grasp why they're in the plot, and just scenes that don't end when you feel like they should end, to carry on like a beat too long. It's quite an odd movie. It features weird references to like other horror films. Corey's second name is Cunningham, which is a reference to the film Christine. And that is interesting because there are parallels between the journey his character goes through and the journey that the character in Christine goes through. Corey's mother is a definite riff on the mother in Carrie, Piper Laurie's character in Carrie. And then there's a radio station, which is definitely, I think, referencing Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2's radio station. None of those things are Halloween. It's very odd that it sort of pulls in these disparate elements and creates this bizarre stew of very odd strangeness. But I wasn't bored at any point. I was definitely like, it kept me intrigued. The final 20 minutes sort of attempts to deliver what you want from a Halloween movie. And ultimately it's a bit of a mess, but I didn't dislike it quite as much as everyone else does. I think if you have an open mind and know that it's not necessarily what you think it's going to be, maybe you can get something out of it. After that, I watched the latest movie. Another thing that listeners to the podcast know I'm a fan of. I watched the latest film from author, Italian filmmaker Dario Argento, who has returned with a film which in English is called Dark Glasses. I'm not sure what the original Italian title is called, but it is his first giallo movie in an extraordinarily long time.
Yeah, because he's old. Like, I'm amazed that still, like, he's 84.
Yeah.
No, 82.
Yeah, he's a quite an elderly guy.
Yeah.
But he's back.
It's called Occhiali Neri.
Occhiali Neri, which means
Which is
dark glasses?
Black
Black
glasses.
glasses. Dark glasses in English for some reason. It follows this movie, so it's a giallo movie, so you've got a killer whose face you don't see, wearing black gloves, garrotting women in the night, etc. You've got so the lead character is a sex worker called Diana, played by an actress called Elenia Pastorelli. She is chased early on and is the almost victim to a killer who is targeting sex workers in the night. Due to strange events, she ends up blind. This is sort of like the setup of the movie, so it's not really a spoiler. She's blinded early on, so then has to contextualise her life around being a blind lady. The caseworker assigned to help her work that out is called Rita and is played by Asia Argento, who is actually...
Oh, his daughter.
Yeah, his daughter, who's really good in this movie. Like, I think she normally plays very big characters in other stuff, very sexualised characters and things like that. In this film, she kind of goes against type and plays a really, really down-to-earth, ordinary, normal woman. And she's really good. I thought she was good in this film, Asia Argento. And due to events that's not worth going into, Diana ends up sort of being the foster mother, but not officially in any legal sense, but ends up taking in a young Chinese boy who, in one weird scene, she gives him a PSP as a gift, which in 2022 is a weird gift. That's like about a decade out of date game console. And then they sort of they form this bond, and throughout the rest of the movie they basically in this cat and mouse game, she's blind, he's a child, attempting to survive against this killer who's returning to try and finish the job, kind of thing. It's it's not my favourite of the giallo movies Dario Argento has made, but in recent years his output has been pretty poor, so I think it's a competently made, decent film. If you really, really want to watch a new Argento movie, it's not going to do you wrong, but it didn't particularly do much for me either. The plot wasn't that, after that basic setup, which you know from the trailers and you know going in pretty much if you've been paying attention, it doesn't really do anything else. It's just kind of that. And it's like 86 minutes long, which is kind of nice and brief. I like brevity. But I think within that within that short time frame, it doesn't really actually do very much of any interest. It's got a handful of gory sequences which are upsetting, and the effects are quite well done, but it doesn't really. For me, it didn't really add up to much. But I've had a look online and had a look on Letterboxd, and it's had a lot of 3-star, 3.5-star reviews of people going, yeah, it's pretty good. I gave it 2.5. It's competently made, but it didn't really light my world on fire, which was a pity because you don't get a new Dario Argento movie very often, particularly a new giallo film from him. So that's what it is. So those are 2 films I watched this week. Also, we've had the finales of a couple of shows that have been running. The Lord of the Rings of Powers finale was this week.
Oh, is it finished already?
It is finished. All 8.
How many episodes did they make?
8.
Has it really been 8 weeks?
Yep. No, they put 2 out at once, so it's been 7 weeks.
Ah, okay. 7 weeks since we've been talking about this Ring of Power thing.
Yeah.
That's insane. I thought it just started.
No.
Wow.
I thought it started well this season.
Mm.
And then it meandered around for ages. Didn't do anything interesting. Pretty poor dialogue. Pretty weird plotting. Like, for example, the episode where the Dwarf King says, or the Dwarf Prince says to Elrond, "Here's some mithril. It's a secret. If you ever tell anyone else about mithril and that it exists at all, if you show this to anyone else, your family is cursed, and you'll never be welcome to the Dwarf Kingdom ever again, and the earth will be scorched and burned with your name for all eternity." And then the very next episode, he just goes, "Do you know what? Take all the mithril you want, mate. It's fine. You can have as much as you need." From nowhere. It's ridiculous. So then we come to the finale. Mild spoilers for the previous episode, so skip ahead if you don't want to know about this. But throughout the season, the Southlands is revealed to be the actual future location of Mordor, and we've seen the emergence of Mount Doom. And the only question remains is, who is Sauron? Galadriel is searching Sauron out. We know that he's poking his head around somewhere. There's been a couple of characters all the way through that people have been like, "Oh, that guy could be Sauron." There's been one character that the whole way through I've been like, that is Sauron right there. And that's Sauron. It was not they tried to make it be a surprise. It's not a surprise. You're like, oh yeah, that's the guy. He's the evil guy. And then it ends. It's pretty underwhelming. I was pretty unimpressed with The Lord of the Rings of Power. This is like a show that Amazon have committed $1 billion to, and they've made one of the most boring fantasy things I've ever seen. Like, each episode is an hour and 10 minutes long, and none of them have enough. We've got Game of Thrones getting through twice as much plot in 50 minutes each week, or House of the Dragon, sorry. And then we got this thing which is just like, there's one scene in this episode where a hobbit leaves her hobbit family to go and adventure with a man who is again similar to the Sauron thing. We're meant to be like, "Ooh, who's this mysterious guy?" It's Gandalf. At some point they're going to reveal it's Gandalf, but it's definitely obviously Gandalf. So she's going to go off and adventure with him and leave her family behind. And there is literally, she says goodbye to her family, then she says goodbye to the village, then she starts to walk away, then her best friend comes up and hugs her, then they have a conversation about how sad they are, then her best friend hugs her again, then she waves to the village again, then she goes to walk up a bit, and then she turns around again and waves to the village again, and then we see the villagers all waving at her, and then her best friend runs up and hugs her again, and then they have a little cry again, and then they do another hug, and then she starts to walk away again. And it just takes forever for one character to walk up a hill and say goodbye. And it's why? Just unnecessarily dragging themselves out. This would be a better show if it aired on TV and was limited to a 50-minute per week slot.
Yeah.
Because they are bathing in their gorgeous set design, and they think that makes it acceptable to waste everyone's time. Not good. On the other end of the swings, we had a trim 30-minute finale this week from She-Hulk. Controversial. I know some people that hated it. I absolutely loved it. It leaned into all the things that She-Hulk should be. I won't put any spoilers at all in, because I think people should just go and watch it and enjoy it. But it absolutely met my expectations and hopes, and I think ultimately She-Hulk might be my favourite series that they've done so far in the MCU.
Wow.
I think Tatiana Maslany has embraced the role perfectly. She's an amazing addition to the MCU. I hope that we see her pop up in much more stuff as we go on. It's no secret that this show has featured Daredevil in some capacity, and it's amazing to see Charlie Cox back in that role, and he's doing a really good job of it. And it's a slightly closer to the comic book, I think, version of Daredevil that's a bit, still has a dark, heart to him, like in the Netflix show, but he's also able to be a bit lighter and a bit happier and have some humour to him, and I think it's just great. I think She-Hulk has been wonderful. Have you watched any of it yet?
No, not yet.
You've got to watch it and we can talk about it.
I will.
It's so funny. I think you'll like it. So yeah, okay. So that's She-Hulk finale. The next thing I'm going to talk about briefly is a video game, and I think for you to understand what I'm talking about, Alex, you need to see the trailer for this video game. Okay. And you'll see why. So I'm going to send you this clip. It's a little bit of a MyTube thing early on, but you'll see why when you see what the game looks like.
MyTube, 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 ba-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba, MyTube, MyTube,
There you go. Let me know when you're ready.
Okay, so George has sent me a video game trailer called Scorn, launch trailer. And it says mature 17 plus, blood and gore, intense violence, sexual themes. Great.
It's only a minute long, the trailer.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so I'm waiting for some blood and gore. Oh. Okay, there's a big worm. Cthulhu kind of worm.
Could be.
And there are monsters, things unattached. Oh my goodness. People getting... Oh, what? Ugh. Why do you like this kind of stuff? There's a lot of, like, things that are not supposed to be in bodies. And blood. And teeth. Ugh. What? Oh, what is that? And even the gun looks rank.
Rank, what a word.
Oh, what? And there's a lot of shooting of... What? It's shooting animals. That's not nice, George.
They're not animals, Alex.
Okay.
Monsters.
And it's very shaky.
I think that's just the trailer.
Okay. Oh, what? Oh, some intestines have just left something's body. Great. Thank you for that.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, great.
So so you tell me from that trailer what you think that game is.
Oh, well, it looks like a reality where everything is pretty horrible and somebody is a mutant or something, or has been genetically or has been worked on, and he has to escape and kill everything.
So, yeah, okay.
Is it close?
It's close in a lot of things except for the kill everything part at the end.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's based on, or it's, I don't know if I've said it's based on, but it looks a lot like the artwork of H.R. Giger, who designed the original Alien in Alien. That kind of like, is it flesh? Is it a machine? Where does the skin end and the metal begin kind of thing?
Yeah.
Gooey, slimy, gross stuff. Cronenbergian as well.
Yeah.
Which I like art and stuff that looks like that. So I was in on that basis. Also, it's a Game Pass game for anyone's interested. So if you have Game Pass, you can play this for free. It isn't an action combat fighting game like the trailer makes it look. I've played about 2 hours of it, and the first hour and a half or so, there's no combat at all, really. And what I like about it is that there's no on-screen text ever. There's nothing that ever tells you what you're doing or why you're doing it or what you're trying to do or how to
like
even
life.
control the game. Exactly. You're just,
Like
you wake up in this kind of desolate space that's full of all this goo and grossness, but like no living things. It's like it's a dead civilization, and you are just wandering around it trying to get through it. And there's all these contraptions and machines, and you interact with them by shoving your fingers in and blah. And
it looked gross.
you kind of have to walk up to stuff and use it and look at what it does, and then work out like how do you like there's all these big machines and contraptions. You have to work out basically in which order to turn bits and pieces on to make the whole thing come together and work. And it's a puzzle game. It's a first person puzzle game. And if that was the entire game, it would be an unqualified recommendation because it's really fun to do that stuff. Unfortunately, the half hour I've just played through this morning introduces the combat, and it's some of the worst combat I've ever played in a video game because you've got all these little, you call them animals, they're not animals. It's not like cats and dogs. They're like these horrible homunculuses of flesh and acid and stuff, and they can spit at you and fire acid at you, and you don't, at the point I'm at in the game, you don't have a gun or anything yet. From that trailer you can see you get a gun later, but all you have is this thing that looks like a gun, but when you fire it, it just shoots a rod out that goes out about a foot and then retracts again, a bit like a cattle, the thing that Javier Bardem uses in No Country for Old Men. And you can only use it twice before you need to recharge it, and it recharges over like 5 seconds or so, and then you can use it again. And the enemies that you fight have to be hit by it 5 times before they die. So you have to use it. You have to hit them twice, and then run away from them. And they're spitting acid at you, so they're obviously hurting you, and you don't have much health. And then if you miss, God forbid you miss, because then you're just going to and if you die, it sends you way, way, way back. The checkpoint is terrible. So it's a real sort of pity. I still recommend people go and check it out if they're able to, and it looks amazing, and the actual puzzle gameplay of it is really cool, like these huge bioorganic mechanical machines and things that you're trying to manipulate into opening various doors and allowing you to enter various orifices. But but then when it introduces the combat, they didn't need to do the combat. They could have had a good game without the combat. But
but you need to like get sprayed out with acid and like destroy this little monkey.
I don't think you do. I think it would be a better game if it was an absolutely dead world with you were the only thing of any living.
Well, it'd be pretty
in it.
Daunting, no?
Yeah, but that's what the first hour of it is like, and it feels really isolated and lonely, and it's a great atmosphere and tone. And then it just
it's a bit like COVID. During COVID and after COVID. It was lovely and quiet, and now it's like you're back out.
But I think the problem with the combat stuff is it reminds you that it's a game, because it feels more like a game at that point, and less like you're exploring a genuine alien world, because you're having to start considering your health and how little health you have and stuff. And I don't know. I'm going to keep playing it because it looks amazing and stuff, but I wish it was just the puzzles. Anyway, that's that. Right, finally, 2 albums to talk about. It was a big music week this week. So there's 2 big albums released. The latest album from the 1975, Matty Healy and co. Producing their pop rock stuff. Their latest album is Being Funny in a Foreign Language. This is their, let's see, 1975. It's a pretty... 5th album, I think. Yeah, 5th album.
Wow, they've been busy.
They have been busy. It's their shortest album by so far. It's only about 43 minutes long, 11 songs. And I think as a result, and also it was produced by Jack Antonoff, who's a producer of Taylor Swift and various other, like a producer of loads of stuff at the moment. And I think maybe through his influence, it's not as, and through the length as well, it's not as wide in scope as some of their other albums, particularly like Notes on a Conditional Form, their last album, which went all over the place, and Brief Inquiry into Online Relationships again went everywhere. And actually, their second album has songs that sound like Sigur Rós at times, and then songs that like they go everywhere. This album,
I was a bit
go on
underwhelmed by this one.
Oh, have you listened to it?
Yeah, only once. So I'm going to listen to it more.
Yeah,
but it just as my first listen, I'm not as it doesn't feel as exciting as
I think that's fair. I mean, I don't think that means it's bad though. It just isn't as like, it doesn't grab you as immediately as some of the other albums, because it doesn't have such a variety of sounds on it. Like it's like somebody said to them, "You're really good at making pop music. Like you're a rock band, but you're really good at making like pop hits." Yeah. And they've made 11 pop songs.
Yeah. And it's all very like one tone, which is yeah.
But I think that means it'll be an album that on repeat listens sort of opens up a bit as you kind of begin to see what the differences are between the different tracks and stuff. I think there's some of the best songs ever written on this album, in particular 2 of the singles, Happiness and Part of the Band. I love both of those albums. I'm in Love with You is a really good song. But the other songs that aren't the singles that I've only heard through listening to the album a handful of times haven't started to really stand out yet, because it does all sound sort of a piece. It's thematically consistent, which is, fine. Caroline is quite a good song, actually. But yeah, it's sort of business as usual a little bit, which is fine. But I don't know. I kind of want them to be creating this wacky world of madness, which works.
Yeah, because he's wacky, isn't he? Like, I didn't realise what an interesting character he was until this week, that he's been everywhere, and I watched him like different interviews, and he was on this YouTube show which I love, which is Chicken Shop Date. Don't know if you ever watched it.
I've watched a bit of it.
Yeah, I love that. It's one of my favorite things on YouTube. But like his, I think, was the weirdest, because he's such a weird character, and he couldn't. I don't know if he was doing it on purpose, or he couldn't really grasp the fact that this was like a show, and he kept like going, "Is this like real? Can I kiss you?" Like, Chicken Shop Date is all about being like an awkward date at the chicken shop.
Yeah.
Which is really is a really nice concept, and he kind of
Maybe he was playing into the
I hope so,
awkwardness.
but he was so strange. And then Amelia, she's quite serious and really kind of crass.
Yeah.
Well, no, just and I think he kind of took her by surprise because he was just so weird. So sometimes you just look super embarrassed because usually she's quite cold and stuff. But yeah.
Weird, interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
So if you just try and watch it because it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I might give it a go.
Yeah.
I saw a tiny clip of it where she gave him a bottle of water and he was weird about it.
Yeah, because I think that's his favorite flavored water or something.
Cool. Yeah, but yeah, I think the album, it seems fine. It's had really good reviews.
I think it's gonna grow on me.
I think it'll grow on me as well. But it's not got like here's 5 minutes of weird garage music without vocals, or here's a song where the vocals are provided by Siri reading out a text message, or do you know what I mean? It's not got any weirdness to it. Well, it's probably got a bit, but it's not. But it's, they are very good songwriters and the songs are very well written. So well done. Up next, the final thing I've got to talk about is the Red Hot Chili Peppers' second album of the year, Return of the Dream Canteen. Another big double album. It's an hour and 15 minutes long. It's got 17 tracks on it.
It's so long.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm up for a second. Is this album ever going to finish?
And I've listened to it more than the 1975 one. I've had it on a few rotations, and I don't know. I've really, this year has been the year of the Red Hot Chili Peppers for me. I just love their sound and love what they do, and Frusciante being back in the band is so good. I think like the couple of singles they released before it came out, Tip of My Tongue and Eddie, when they were just the singles, I liked Tip of My Tongue better. But having listened to the album a few times, Eddie is just an amazing song. I love that song. And it's, a lovely tribute to Eddie Van Halen and stuff. And the guitar solo that Frusciante whips out for it is amazing. And the rest of the album's full of really good tracks as well. Like I said, it's only come out this weekend, so it's not really made a huge impression yet. But Roulette has stood out as a good song. The Drummer, the new single, is pretty good. Bag of Grins, Copper Belly stood out. I think the second half of this album actually hits me more than the first half. And in particular, I think my standout track so far, because it is so weird, is the final track, In the Snow. Do you remember that one?
Okay.
You've listened to this, right?
Yeah. It's a very eclectic album, and sometimes like Anthony Kiedis goes.
He's got more. He's got more. Like, I read that song "Poster Child" from the first album was meant to be on this album, and they put it on the first album instead. And I think it's probably because they realised that this album has got so many pop culture reference. Like, all of his lyrics are like, "I was in the Fawlty Towers, and then I went to the zoo with Bono, and then we went just Austin Powers," and then it just never he never stops just throwing out references to pop culture. It's very insane. So that song "Poster Child" would have been probably too much, because that song is literally just like, I was with Led Zeppelin and we went. But In the Snow, do you remember the song In the Snow? No. So I
only listened to the album once.
Let me play the start of it for you, because I like it. Started and it stands out immediately because they're using a drum machine, which is weird for them. But then I'll try and find it. Yeah, there we go. So I've not heard this before in a Red Hot Chili Peppers song. It might have happened before, but listen to what he does in a sec. It's going spoken word suddenly. It's mad.
Yeah, it is a mad double album.
But in a world where we were just complaining about the 1975 reining it in.
I don't know. This is exciting.
Yeah.
This is a very exciting album.
Yeah. I think I really like this album.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's fun. It's not as exciting as Unlimited Love. It's just because I was so unaware of what Red Hot Chili Peppers were doing. So I listened to that one. And from the
Yeah.
first song, I was like, yeah. But this was very entertaining and very good. And in some songs, they've gone back a little bit into Californication kind of
Yeah, or like
in mood. And
let me
it made,
let me play you the start of Eddie because I think it sounds just like By the Way.
yeah. And I feel, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah,
Love it.
and there are a couple of songs that kind of like remind you of those kind of like Red Hot Chili Peppers era, which is really good because they can reinvent themselves and make themselves again the great Red Hot Chili Peppers. So I think it's very exciting.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's a good entertaining album. Some songs you're like, what the hell are you saying? But it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, I think lyrically he's taken a lot of chances that not all of them are paying off, but the rest of the band is solid, strong enough that it works.
Yeah, I think, yeah. But sometimes just going on like, what are you saying? And it just goes, and I just like bop with him.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay,
It's
let's
full
just
on
do it.
just word association.
Yeah.
I can
definitely.
I can dig it.
Yeah. But I definitely want to listen to it more. And also the 1975, but I think this is just like the eclecticity.
But you don't have much time because next week you've got Taylor Swift and the Arctic Monkeys to get to grips with. Like,
Oh my
and
goodness.
also keep your eye on. There's a band called Witch Fever who are releasing their debut album next week, and it's had me and my friend Sam have a real thing about the fact that have you heard of the magazine Kerrang?
Yeah.
So they are the premier sort of metal and rock magazine in the UK. So they review all the newest rock and metal releases and stuff. We always joke about the fact that every single album they review, they give 4 stars to, or they call them Ks, they do it Ks, but it's always 4 out of 5 Ks, every album. And it's just like, it completely reduces the point of having a score on your review if every single thing you're going to be like, it's pretty amazing, it could be a little bit better. Like every single thing.
Yeah.
And this week they reviewed the Witch Fever debut album and they gave it 5 Ks, Alex. So I think it's going to change the world potentially. So
Wow.
I haven't heard it yet, but look out for it. I'll talk about it next week probably because I'll have a listen to it.
Nice.
And they're cool. They're from Manchester in UK and they're very feminist and they've got good world views, I think. They were very
Good.
they had a lot of things to say about the Queen when she passed away, etc. So you'll either like or hate them based on that, but I think I like them.
Okay, so I probably like them.
Anyway, let's not get too controversial. That's all my culture catch up. What have you been doing? Also, I have a proposition for you.
Propose me.
Propose you that we, even though it's not a top 5 episode, we should do homework this week because I think we've both done the thing that we have for homework.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Because I want to know what you think of the bear, and I've listened to Hold the Girl this week, and it's fresh in my mind because
Okay, let's do homework.
We'll do that once
definitely.
we've done your Culture Catch-Up and MyTube and stuff. I just wanted to suggest.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, my Culture Catch-Up. So I'm not going to talk about the bear because we're going to do homework and I'm going to tell you everything.
Have you finished the bear?
Oh, yeah, I have finished
I have
the bear.
not finished the bear yet.
Oh no. Have we not finished the bear?
Because I'm trying to ration it out a bit because it's too good.
No, you've done so well because I've been in I finished. Oh, it's really terrible because I finished the bear and it's just been downhill since. It's just been so boring. Everything I watched.
Yeah.
I just had to watch the bear and Harley Quinn because everything is crap.
Fair dude. I did finish the second.
I hate that you made me watch.
I finished the second season of Harley Quinn this week, and so good.
Oh. I just been like, I need to watch something because I need to talk about something on Culture Catch-Up. I was like, I'll watch the bear, and then I finished the bear in record time, with some anxious panic attacks. But then I was like, I need to watch something else, and it just hasn't been great. But okay.
Okay, so what have you done?
I've watched, so I've listened to the 2 albums we talked about, which is good. I watched The Bear. I'm nearly finished season 1 of Harley Quinn. 1 episode is missing. Great show. It's getting better and better. Really enjoying where it is going. The characters are like really multi-dimensional, so it was really good.
How do you like the
and
Legion
I
of
really
Doom?
So, well, I would like to work in the Legion of Doom. Actually, I wouldn't mind.
Not in the henchman
You know.
room, though.
No. I would like to be in Harley Quinn's office.
Have you seen the one where Bane makes them go and do a mission with him to blow up that?
Oh my god.
show?
Bane is so funny. Like, wow, it just keeps calling me bad or something.
I'm gonna blow up this yogurt shop.
And it's like, and then he blows the yogurt shop up, and
blows up
then
King's
he's not even
shop.
there. It's a really good series. I really enjoying it, and it's really entertaining and exciting. So yeah, really good. I'm carrying on with that. And then I watched a couple of Netflix films. The first one is 2022 film starring Mila Kunis called just Luckiest Girl Alive.
Okay.
Luckiest Girl Alive. I went in thinking there was gonna be like a Gone Girl. I was excited to have like another like Gone Girl kind of thing.
Yeah, you love a Gone
because
Girl
the trailer. Yeah, because I thought the trailer gave it more like a Gone Girl thing. It says it's a thriller, because I went in those expectations because I think they tried to give you those expectations. I don't know if you see the trailer.
No, I've seen it pop up on Netflix, and I really like Mila Kunis a lot.
Yeah,
But
and so maybe because I had this preconception that I was going to have something different, maybe I didn't get the film as much as I should have, or maybe I wasn't as.
But if the trailer sold it to you as one thing, and then it's not that thing, that's on the marketing people, isn't it?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's a bad film. I just needed to readjust myself into not being a thriller. But yeah, it stars Mila Kunis as Annie Fanelli, who is
It's quite the name.
The weirdest
That's
name.
quite the name.
It's so weird.
Annie Fanelli.
Annie
Is she from a
Fanelli.
cartoon version of Italy?
Maybe, I don't know, but her name is not. She's Tiffany Fanelli. I think.
That's better then.
Still
That's
weird.
fine. Tiffany
Yeah,
Fanelli makes
but
sense.
I think now that she's like older, she wants to become. She's Annie
She
Fanelli.
should go by Annie Nelly.
Yeah, but she's not going to be Annie Fanelli for long because she's going to marry Luke Harrison. So she's going to become Annie Harrison, which is like this incredible New York guy that has everything. You know, this rich New York guys from like rich families.
Right.
Yes.
So she's the luckiest girl in the world.
She is
She's
the
got this
luckiest
guy.
girl in the world. So she's from New York, and it looks like she basically looks like she's got everything. She's got she's a writer in a magazine, even though she writes mainly about sex, and like she's kind of like this sex columnist.
Okay.
She's got all the clothes. She's got the perfect fiance, and she's going to get married in this perfect ceremony. She doesn't eat, she doesn't, she's perfect, she's just a perfect person, but something in her past keeps coming back to her. So like the trauma that she has had in her past keeps coming back to her, and something happened in her high school, and they're trying to make a documentary, and this documentary is kind of triggering her and making her feel certain things that are coming back. Although it's not just a documentary that is like reviving past trauma, because even sometimes when she holds a knife, she has like flashbacks, and it's just this woman that has tried to forget everything about her past, but slowly her past is coming back, and she can do everything, but at the end of the day, if you have past trauma, it's going to come back. That's the kind of gist of the story. I can't say too much because there are some kind of like things that you don't see in the trailer that maybe could be spoilers, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Mila Kunis is great as Annie Fanelli, because Mila Kunis is amazing.
Who does she play in it?
Annie Fanelli.
Okay.
And then there are flashbacks with a younger Annie Fanelli, but at the time she was Tiffany, played by Chiara Aurelia, which she's very good. Finn Wittrock plays her fiance. Connie Britton plays her mum.
Oh, okay. I like Connie Britton.
Yeah, Connie Britton is really good in it. Scott McNairy plays her professor. Scoot McNairy plays her professor. Okay. And then there's also Jennifer Beals. Beals.
Oh, we're thinking of different people.
She was in Flashdance and The L Word.
Oh no, I'm thinking. Oh no, sorry, I'm thinking of Jessica Biel. Is it Jessica Biel?
Yeah. Yes. This is Jennifer Beals.
Sorry, my bad.
Yes. As her boss. And so, not being a thriller and is all about people trying to escape from their past traumas and thinking that if they do everything right, their traumas will be gone. It's an interesting concept, you know. It's interesting, and in a way, it's a good way to analyze that about how past trauma can affect your present. Mm-hmm. It's acted pretty well, but it also just, because you're thinking is a thriller, you think something is going to happen, but nothing happens really.
Right.
Some traumas that she had are pretty horrendous, and the problem that I had is that it's very graphic what we see.
Right.
And I feel that it wasn't necessary. I feel like if somebody has had a sexual assault on them and watches this film and doesn't know that that's going to happen, it's going to be very triggering, because I felt awful watching a scene in this film, which was not necessarily, it wasn't a necessity to have it. And it was very, not graphic, like you couldn't see, it was too much. And I felt very uncomfortable and I did not like it. And especially putting maybe a young actress doing this, I think maybe it wasn't the best choice. I didn't like that. I felt it had a good message, this film. But I feel that maybe it wasn't delivered the right way. And so it's good and bad. It's hard to swallow in some places, but I think also if you're going to, like, especially in 2022, if you're going to show something that bad happening to a young girl, you need to be very aware of the people that are going to watch your film and be very gentle with that kind of portrayal. Mm-hmm. And they were not gentle. They were it was too much. And I know sometimes maybe you need to be shocked to understand, but also you can do things in different ways. But that's my opinion. A little bit like Blonde. Like, we know that those things went on. Why are we exploiting this current actress to show the exploitation of an older of an actress before? Why can we not just do things in a gentler way, but still in a poignant way, you know?
Yeah. For anyone who's listening who does have issues around feeling triggered by certain events in films, I'd like to direct everyone to a website called doesthedogdie.com. Have you heard of that?
No.
Doesthedogdie.com is a great website. It has pretty much any major movies on there. This film's on there. I'm just looking at it now. And it doesn't just tell you if it started off as like a resource for people who can't watch films where dogs are hurt, which is fair, as a way to look up and see if the movie's going to contain anything traumatic for them.
Yeah.
But now it sort of is used to kind of run through all potentially triggering acts. So, for example, I'm looking up Luckiest Girl Alive, and it's just a list of things. Does a cat die? Does the dog die? Are animals abused? Da, 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 da. And you can really quickly see the no's, and then the yeses. So yes is under, is a child abused? Is yes. Is someone gaslighted? Yes. Mm-hmm. Is there domestic violence? Yes. Mm-hmm. Does someone abuse alcohol? Yes. Is someone restrained? Yes. Is someone tortured? Mm-hmm. Yes. Is there shaving or cutting? Yes. And then is there genital trauma, mutilation? Yes. And that's the kind of thing that could be,
Oh, it's harsh.
yeah, is
It's
there
a really
amputation? Yes. Does someone struggle to breathe? Yes. Does a kid die?
yeah.
So it's obviously if you feel like give me anything you can give me, and I don't want any spoilers, that website's not for you. But if you would before you go in, if you would like to know if there is anything potentially upsetting in a film, I really recommend doesthedogdie.com. It's a really good resource.
Yeah.
Just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. So as a film, like I said, I think it could be,
It sounds pretty
like,
brutal from that.
but it could, like, the thing is, it could be really, because it does show how, unfortunately, a lot of girls are not believed, especially in certain contexts and in certain, if the girl has drunk too much and stuff like that, a little bit, if you think about a promising young woman, it's kind of a similar kind of situation. But it's done in a way that it just maybe doesn't care for people that have actually experienced that, and I don't agree with that. So watch it with caution. If you watch with caution anyway, because there are some scenes where it's not great. Yeah. But it does talk about something that's really important. So, yeah.
That's Luckiest Girl Alive.
Yes, that's Luckiest Girl Alive. And then I watched something a little bit more fluffy and lovely. And I've been wanting to watch this for a while because, Riverdale was such a big program with show with like young kids. Yeah.
Yes.
Never watched it, but I knew who the actors were
Right.
through the amount of like publicity they made. So Do Revenge, there was Camila Mendes. Yep. So I watched this other Netflix film with another Riverdale actress because I thought check her out, and she's also in Hustlers.
Okay.
Lily Reinhardt, and the film is called Look Both Ways.
Okay.
Yeah. Fluffy, lovely movie. It's about this girl that has everything planned, and it's the night of her graduation. And on the night of her graduation, just before her graduation, she sleeps with her best friend. And on the night of graduation, she is not feeling very well, so she takes a pregnancy test. And then that's when the movie goes in two different paths. In one side, there's Natalie, played by Lily Reinhardt, that is pregnant, and on the other side, there's Natalie, who is not pregnant. And the film follows the two lives that could be with child and without child.
It's like Sliding Doors, Alex.
It's exactly like Sliding Doors. It's like Sliding Doors, but for me, I wasn't enjoying the film at the beginning because I thought it was a little bit too, like, I love, college thing, like school things, slice of lives, but it felt a little bit too cheesy for me. Okay. Even that was too cheesy. But then the more the film went on, the more I started enjoying it, because whatever road she took, one of them she was with child, the other one was without child. Mm-hmm. Both roads have got their ups and downs.
I'm sure.
And it's a kind of nice film for me for maybe like college students to watch, that whatever you choose, it's gonna be okay, and don't worry about it, Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And what I liked is the fact that at the end, she doesn't end up necessarily with the same person.
Yeah.
And it kind of shifts the idea of the one in a romantic in a romantic story. Yeah. The one, which I quite like that, because, this fable-ish idea that there is a one person for you. It's kind of so, in a way, not right, because, there's not one person. Mm-hmm. There's going to be the person that he's going to maybe spend the rest of your lives with, but this idea of like the romantic thing, there's the one, well, this, for me, doesn't exist.
Oh, wow.
but in the sense that it doesn't exist, not like in the romantic comedy sense that there's one person in 6 billion people that is going to be your soulmate.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
believe that you can find somebody that you really like and spend the rest of your life, and that's definitely your one.
Yeah.
But it's not the one. And what I liked about this film is like there's not the one. There is the person that she's going to spend the rest of her life with. The two, yes. I didn't mind it. I thought it was quite fluffy and nice.
You're saying it's fluffy, Alex, but
yeah.
Are there bugs? Yes. A cockroach is on Natalie's bed at 34 minutes full.
Oh, yeah.
So how fluffy can it be? Does someone use drugs? Yes.
Yes.
This is not good.
Marijuana.
Marijuana?
Yeah.
Does someone wet/soil themselves? Yes.
It's a baby.
Well, I don't like that. Is there a hospital scene? Yes.
She gives
Does
birth.
a baby cry? Yes. You're asking me to watch a movie where a baby does a cry. Are there babies? Yes. Is there childbirth? Yes.
Yes.
Is there sexual content? Yes.
Yes. Yes.
This
Sorry.
movie. Is there a nuclear explosion? No. 3 people have confirmed no. There is not a nuclear explosion. Sorry, continue.
So I quite like Lily Reinhardt. She kind of reminds me of a young what's her name?
Cameron Diaz.
No.
Julia Roberts.
No, she's got brothers and sisters in Hollywood.
Kate Hudson.
One brother in Hollywood. And they've got the same name, the brother and the sister.
Billie Eilish.
No. They do films together. Cusack.
Joan Cusack.
Joan Cusack. I don't know. She gives me the same kind of warmth as Joan Cusack. I really like that about her. And then the characters are really nice. There's a nice kind of chemistry between her and one of the ones, Danny Ramirez, who plays Gabe, who is the father of the child. She's really good. Aisha D plays her best friend. She's really good as well. It's an interesting film. And also there is Luke Wilson as her father.
Ah, cool. I like Luke Wilson.
I love Luke Wilson, but he's so underused.
He is underused, yeah.
So much underusage. And it's an okay film if you need some, you don't know what to do. Watch an hour and 40 minutes of this. It's okay.
Be aware there will be wet/soiled
Yes.
pants.
Yes, definitely. And then I watched Catherine called Birdy because you watched it and you said it was good and you liked it.
That sounds like you're about to berate me.
I absolutely adore this film.
Okay, good.
I love this film so much. I cried like a baby at some point. It just made me so emotional about thinking about this lovely girl that was like, sold to this horrible man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just, it's so good. I laughed, I cried, I felt sorry for all women in the world at that time and now. I think it's a beautiful film. I love how Lena Dunham used the music.
Lena Dunham, I think, met and then married the man who did the music for this film.
Amazing.
During the production of this film.
Amazing. Bella Ramsey is incredible, and I didn't realize she's Hilda. She's the voice of Hilda, the cartoon that you hate.
Oh yeah. Oh.
I love Morwenna, her nurse.
Oh yeah.
Everybody is good in this film, and even if so Bella Ramsey just steals the show and she's in every scene and she's everywhere, and everybody is kind of her kind of crew, the people all around. But anytime that she interacts with somebody else is just good.
Yeah.
And you don't see her brother that she hates for a while, Robert, played by Dean Charles Chapman. But then he appears after like maybe half an hour you haven't seen him, and he just goes, you're getting sold, and he's just like, oh, okay, so you're back here. People come and go in this film, and I really, really liked it, and I liked the dynamicity of it.
Yeah.
And even to the last moment, like new characters get introduced, like Golden Tiger, the guy that like takes her to her cousin.
Oh yeah.
And I just really, 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 really love this film.
Good. It's good. It's a good film.
And it's really weird because on Rotten Tomatoes, like the reviewers gave it 88% and the audience gave it 51%.
Really?
What is 51% of this? Like, just Bella Ramsey, you have to get 70% just for her.
Oh, that's bizarre. Why has it got such a low audience score?
I have no idea.
I don't understand that at all. Is there some sort of review bombing going? It's probably because of Lena Dunham.
Exactly. And it really pisses me off because it's such a good film. And it's just so funny. And there is so many things that, I don't know, I just loved it. I think it's an amazing film.
It's people whinging about the changes to the book.
Oh, well, oh my goodness.
Yeah, changed from the books in a bad way. They changed the story from the book. 5 exclamation marks. Terrible. No, it could have been good, but Amazon destroyed it by changing the story. Yes, Amazon are responsible for the film.
Yeah.
Like others had said, they changed the story from the book and in going so completely ruined it. Tedious tosh. Prime Studios needs a clean out. The director changed...
People just hate Amazon Prime now, don't they?
The director changed the ending of the book. Up until then, I could deal with most of the changes to the characters and plot, but by changing the ending, the movie became about Birdy staying a child rather than growing up. The random shuffling of music genre was distracting, and the costumes were just okay. Bella was a great choice for Birdy, though, and that kept me watching until the end. 2 stars.
Well, I'd rather that Birdy stays a child than doesn't go with that horrible
I wonder how the
bearded guy.
I must admit that I didn't get it. Not a historical account, not a funny account, no strange and beautiful. What? Hang on. I must admit that I didn't get it. Not a historical account, not a funny account, no strange and beautiful beings. Which you expect, right? Just a bad story supported by actors without a role, and a common trait to all bad movies, a highly narrated movie. The lead character is even narrating as she's acting. The strangest admission of boredom and confusion caused by this annoying movie. Also, they should have paid someone to manage the music side. The music is neither pleasant nor appropriate unless it was their goal to make fun of the film. That's one of the strangest reviews I've ever seen. No strange and beautiful beings. Madness. Idiots.
Absolutely.
Absolute morons. Anything else?
And that's it for my culture catch-up this week.
What a lovely set of things, Alex. I like it a lot. Okay. Let's just keep on rolling. Are you ready for some MyTube?
Yeah.
Okay, this one, I'm tempted to say try not to look at the title of the video before we watch it, but if you can't manage that, that's fine.
Okay, I'm going to close my eyes.
Okay.
I'm going to put the hand there. Okay, so I've got it. Okay, I'm looking at you.
Okay.
Okay, what do you want me to do?
Are you ready to play it?
So without reading what
Yeah.
it is. Okay, so I'm gonna put the full screen on. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay. Oh, it's Christmas time. We're in a pub.
You ain't driving.
And oh, Hopper.
It's Hopper. Or David
It's
Harbour.
Hopper. David Harbour is there.
Santa, how about you?
Oh.
I started the whole damn thing.
Oh, it's actually Santa.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a Christmas film. We need good ones now because we don't have enough.
Yep.
What is it?
That is
Okay.
a direct hotline to Santa Claus himself.
I can talk to Santa.
All right, Grandpa.
Okay, so she gets walkie-talkie to talk to. Oh my goodness! What's his name?
John Leguizamo.
Yes, and what?
You have
So
$300
it's,
million in your personal vault.
Wow.
That's
So it's a action Santa movie.
Could be.
Okay. Santa has arrived and he's eating cookies. And I think he's in the house that has been sieged by criminals. Somebody punched Santa, but Santa punches back.
your typical mall Santa.
Okay.
Are you there?
Wow, Santa's violent.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious. Santa's
He
killing
stuck
everyone.
a Christmas star in somebody's eye and turned it on.
Help us, Santa.
Yeah, Trudy.
Santa?
You're on my nice list.
Oh,
She's on the nice list.
wow. Oh, Santa's trying to kill somebody with some
And a
tinsel.
snowball.
Oh, this better be good
Time for some season's beatings.
because it looks amazing.
Stabbing.
Oh, oh, that's horrendous.
What if he really is the real?
No such thing as Santa.
These bad
Oh,
they're all on my naughty list.
you're on my naughty list.
And what do you do to the naughty ones?
I give them a lump of coal. I gotta watch.
I believe in you, Santa.
He just blew somebody up. Oh my goodness. Violent Night is the film.
Which one of you did that? Prancer?
Oh,
So
he just stepped on on reindeer poop.
What do you make of that?
Oh, I really hope it's good.
Yeah, right. It looks pretty fun.
Because it looks amazing. It looks really fun. We need some kind of action comedy Santa a little bit.
Yeah, we absolutely do.
Christmas film, a bit like Home Alone.
We absolutely do.
Exciting, very exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Die Hard, but with Santa, basically.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And with
Yeah,
David
and that's
Harbour.
the best person. Yeah, David Harbour. Like, I don't want anything more. Next. Can I read the title?
Yeah, this
or do I
one
have
you
to
can
close
read
my
the
eyes
title.
again?
I'll tell you a bit about it before we start watching it.
Okay. Okay. So, oh my, I've seen this trailer.
Oh, you've seen it?
Yeah, but we can watch it together as well. So this is the new, is it Luca Guadagnino?
Yeah.
Film Bones and All with Timothée Chalamet, and it's about cannibalism.
Yes.
I'm this I don't think I can watch this film.
Well, I haven't really seen this trailer.
Okay.
I was gonna not watch the trailers because I just wanted to see the film, and then the trailer was on when I went into Halloween yesterday. So I saw like the second half of the trailer. So I was like, oh, I'll just watch the trailer then.
Yeah.
So I've not seen this before. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. But don't you think it's funny that Luca Guadagnino and Timothée Chalamet have made a cannibal movie together when they made a movie in the past with an actual cannibal?
Yeah. Crazy.
Alleged, potentially.
Alleged cannibal. Oh, she's just eating her finger. Oh.
You didn't.
Like, apparently it's a love story.
Yeah, between her and Timothée Chalamet, right?
I can't help you anymore.
So I think it's set in the 80s because she's got a cassette player.
Yeah.
I believed you had to. I don't know
Well,
why.
it's meant to be very good. It got really good reviews.
Yes. Yes, I know. Just
Look at him.
oh my goodness.
I thought I was the only one. I don't want to hurt anybody.
Famous last words.
It just looks intense though.
Actually meet many others.
Like even Timothée Chalamet looks intense. Like he looks gaunt and dirty and
Yeah. He's got mad hair.
I came looking for you.
yeah.
And Mark Rylance.
You can smell me half a mile away.
He's so weird, isn't he?
Yeah.
That guy.
I got rules. Never.
But so they can smell.
I thought you might be
Oh.
hungry.
For hens?
No.
Who lives here?
Oh, so they smell other cannibals?
I guess he can?
And I haven't seen this trailer. I've seen a different trailer which was more intense.
Okay.
With, without words.
We're dangerous.
One of us?
Chicks teach me how to smell other eaters.
This is where I saw it from in the
Just
cinema.
as bad.
These.
Go.
Oh my goodness. They look so weird.
It's too much.
Oh! It is too much. Why do they keep eating people?
You've been following me.
Oh.
And we got unfinished business. You don't think I'm a bad person?
Yeah.
It looks like a horror film, but these are not the people that normally make horror films.
Think is that I love you.
I don't think I can do, like I can barely do romance. I don't think I can do cannibal romance. I think those two together is just going to be too much.
But it looks like a pretty important movie.
Oh, I'll watch it if you watch it together.
Yeah, okay.
I'll watch it with you.
Sure.
I think it'd be quite fun to watch a film with you.
Okay. We'll work out a way to make that happen.
We'll work out somehow. When is it coming out?
November.
Oh. Okay.
But, you know.
Well, that would be impossible for us to watch it together.
Yeah, but maybe one day, you know. Can
Yeah.
watch it later. Okay, I've got one more thing, because see what you think of this.
Oh, this is exciting. The next trailer that Georgia sent me is the actual trailer for Wednesday Addams. I've been waiting for this trailer for a while.
Well, I see what you think when we watch it. I'm kind of pleasantly surprised by how this
I
looks.
can't wait. I'm really excited.
Cool. Well,
because, I love the Addams family. And I think...
yeah, and Jenna Ortega as Wednesday Addams, I think it might be a
Yeah.
hit. Let's see. Right, you ready to start?
Yeah. Yeah.
3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, creepy mansion with creepy black car, which looks like a hearse.
Nevermore was created as a safe haven for our children to learn and to grow, no matter.
So it looks like Hogwarts.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, Hogwarts for people that
Are you feeling okay?
are. Oh, Catherine Zeta-Jones is Morticia.
Yeah.
She's allergic to color.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
What happens to you?
goodness.
I break out into hives and then the flesh peels off my bones.
Lovely. She's amazing.
Yeah, I like Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
Deep down, I actually enjoy it.
Oh, she's scary. Love her.
There's just something wrong about this place. Not just because it's a school.
Secret societies, hidden libraries.
It feels a bit like a dark Harry Potter.
Yeah, it does a bit.
Yeah, in a great way. Oh, Uncle Fester is played by
Fred Armisen.
yeah,
Very
Fred
strange
Armisen.
choice, but I think it might kind of work.
I don't know. So, from the mind of Tim Burton, what does that mean?
I think he's directed some of it, or he's kind
Okay.
of created it.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm really excited.
Stop
It
until
looks
I find the truth.
amazing. I need this in my life.
Well, it's out pretty soon, eh?
Yeah.
I know the suspense is killing you.
Oh, it is. It looks quite dark as well, like
Yeah.
not as the Addams Family. It's just a dark version of it.
Good evening,
Lovely.
And who's this?
I'm Miss Thornhill. I trust Enid has given you the old nevermore welcome.
Oh,
She's been smothering me with
Christina
hospitality.
Ricci.
I hope to return the favor. In her sleep.
Oh, that is. I really hope it's good.
Yeah.
They got Christina Ricci.
I know, the original.
The original Wednesday. Oh, she was so good in it. She was such a good Wednesday.
Yeah, she was.
Amazing.
Big shoes to fill.
What deal with who has Catherine Zeta-Jones made with whom? She hasn't aged.
Well, I don't know.
She's sucking all the life out of Michael Douglas.
Maybe Michael Douglas is taking on board the aging. She looks like she's good in it though. But, what's his name? Luis Guzman as Thingy looks pretty good. You don't see much of him in the trailer. Uncle Fester, The Thing. Not much sign of what's the butler called? Lurch. Lurch?
Yeah,
Not
Lurch.
much sign of Lurch yet. But I'm kind of excited I was really kind of cynically like, come on, Tim Burton doing come on. But I don't know, I think it looks good. And Jenna Ortega is I've really enjoyed her in everything else she's ever done, so yeah. Excited.
Yes.
Excellent stuff indeed. Okay, shall we go to homework?
Homework, yes.
Sit down at the back and be quiet and get out your book because it's time to discuss your homework. Now.
So I had to listen to the album Hold the Girl by Rina Sawayama, and I have done that, which is good. We can talk about it.
Yeah.
This album is I like it. I like you. I really enjoy it. And the thing that Pitchfork used as a way to kind of assassinate her character, I think, is a real testament to the album in how many different tones and genres and ideas she toys with across the album. Is pretty incredible because the main ones are like, This Hell sounds like a modern Britney Spears track or something, and it references Britney in the lyrics, and like there's a lot of like that. But then she's got tracks like, I think it's Forgiveness sounds completely like a Taylor Swift cut, and she's just moving through all the different kind of areas of pop music she can do and trying out each one of them, and she does well at all of them. And then I think my favourite track, other than the singles, which I'd already heard, my favourite track on the album is Frankenstein. Which I still can't. I actually forgot to look it up whether it samples something, or I think the start of this song, I'll play a little bit of it, sounds exactly like something else, and I can't put my finger on what it is. I think there's a hip hop track that has a really similar beat. I can't remember what it is, but anyway, that song's really cool. Frankenstein, and I really like it. I think that Pitchfork review is really unfair, and I think she pops up on social media and stuff occasionally. The things, I don't know why. I think YouTube is constantly recommending me little posts and stuff by her, and she seems like a good person.
I think there's some kind of weird thing that people are a little bit against, especially like kind of people that are part of the music kind of, not industry, but music commenting industry.
Yeah.
Like I saw an interview the other day saying, "Oh, you are something like you are an industry baby or something," like in the sense that like she grew up with the industry a little bit, like what's her name? Britney Spears. And she's like, I'm 31 and this is my second album. Like, I have not been helped at all. Like, there's this kind of preconception of her that she has been helped, and I think she struggled a lot to like get her music out because, as an artist, she's quite not old, but we consider 31 quite advanced when it comes to music. You start at 20 and stuff, but she started a little bit later, which is fun. It's fine for me. I mean, I just mean for the music industry.
And she hasn't had any help because do you remember when? So she wasn't eligible for the Brit Awards or the Mercury Prize with her debut album because she doesn't hold, because she's from Japan originally, and Japan doesn't allow for dual citizenship, as you know.
As I know.
She's maintained her Japanese passport, but she has permission to live in the UK permanently, and she's lived in the UK for 26 years.
Yeah.
And yet the Brits were like, no, you can't be nominated for Best British Artist, and the Mercury Prize wouldn't nominate her. So where's the industry baby stuff? Where's the support there? Like that's like two of the biggest opportunities to get your name out there in the music world had both denied her, and now thanks to her kind of talking out about it, they've changed the rules, at least for the Brits. And now you as long as you've lived in the UK for more than 5 years, you can qualify for those main prizes, thanks to Rina Sarayama. So she's not had help, she's helped others.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it, and I'm glad you enjoyed the same things that I enjoyed about the album.
Yeah, no, good. I was glad I listened to it. And I will go back to it, but in my immediate future, it's going to be a lot of Chili Peppers and 1975
but there's a lot of
Taylor Swift. I can't wait to hear this new Taylor Swift album next week. There's not been any singles or anything, so who knows what it's going to sound like.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll probably sound like a Taylor Swift album, but,
yeah,
we'll see.
Or maybe not. Maybe it's going to be very different.
Well, Jack Antonoff's produced it, so I think, as we've seen from the 1975, he tends to bring out what people do and makes them do it to their best, but he doesn't challenge them to forge new ground.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's for next time.
Yeah.
For now, it's time for
the bear.
What do you think of the bear? Bearing in mind, I've only seen. I'll double check how far I've got to. It's funny that you've watched all of it now and I've not seen it.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's too good.
Oh, it's so good.
It's too good to... No. Come on, the bear. Where are you? There you go. I have seen up to episode... The last episode I watched was episode 5.
You haven't watched episode 7?
No.
Oh my god.
No.
When you watch episode 7, please text me.
Episode 7 is described as a bad day unfolds in the restaurant kitchen as tensions rise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so the last one I watched is the one where there's like a power cut and they end up doing a barbecue in the car park.
Yeah, that's like kind of like they're kind of like, oh, it's nice, and they're getting their shit together.
Yeah.
They're getting like along, and it's all nice. And then bam, and then after episode 6 it's still the same. Then episode 7 comes, bam, and it's just like, God, I just was relaxing 3 seconds.
Oh wow! Interesting. So what do you think of it?
Okay, so what I think of it, it's the first impression.
Yeah.
I think I sent you a text 11 minutes in or something, and I said I think I'm having a panic attack or something.
Yeah.
I'm having anxiety.
Yeah, the bear's giving me anxiety. I think you said.
The bear is giving me anxiety. So I think I was gonna go watch only one episode because I couldn't cope with the first episode is so intense. It's just like starts incredibly well with him in a dream, like being in front of a bear with this song. This song will make your heart explode in episode, I think 8, like the last episode, and you go, yes, mate. Oh, it's insane. It's an insane show. So the first episode starts with the main character, Kami, played by Jeremy Allen White, probably the most interesting face I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he's got quite the
I
look to
love
him.
This guy.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he looks like so lost most of the time.
He's got the face of... Now, this is something I forgot to say last week. He's got the face of like a young De Niro. Not that he looks like De Niro, but he's got that face of like a real actor.
Italian.
And it makes the whole thing is shot and feels like, and is cast in a way that makes it feel like a 70s Scorsese drama. It feels like a Taxi Driver or something. It's such a refreshing... Yeah,
and everybody's like, Kami, cousin, sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. So the episode I started, and there's a bear, and Working Mum started with a bear. I was like, oh, interesting. I wonder if, and I think if a show starts with a bear, I think we're sorted. We're fine.
How's he going to get that bear out of that kitchen?
I don't know. And so it starts, and I was like, I don't think I can watch anymore. And then suddenly I got hooked, and it's insane because it's so intense, and people like, and his kitchen and cooking and love for cooking and too much love for cooking and building people up and then tearing them down, and it's insane. It's such a human drama that it's so refreshing to see, and so you can like kind of feel that this kind of reality is not shot like it's a show. It's shot like
it feels
like you're there with them.
It's like I was saying last week about you've watched all of these like Lord of the Rings, House of Dragon, Marvel stuff, and this feels like real people in a real place struggling. Yeah.
But you can see that the actors are they don't feel like actors. It's just my cat. My cat decided that she wanted to go in the box.
That's fine.
And then she destroyed the box. And then she went...
Fair enough.
Oh my God, that song. And they keep looking at the clock because it's time to open. It's so intense. But then in the middle, it kind of becomes like, oh, wow, things are working out.
You're like a French kitchen now.
It's like, and but I just loved it, and everybody puts their all the actors put their all in this series, in the show, but also how it's directed, it makes you feel that you're not watching a series, you're watching actually them. It's just so good, and the love for the food is real, and I loved even the most intense moments, especially with a cousin played by Ibn Mos Baccarat. But then he's the most annoying character, but then by the end is the one that I feel the most for.
That's how it works.
Because he hasn't really got a place, he hasn't really got anything, and I could watch it again. I made a bad thing about watching it in 3 days. And I shouldn't have, because after that I just watched things. I was like, oh, where is my tension? Where is my drama?
Okay, let's quickly run through some characters and say what we think of them, because it's all about the characters. Carmi.
It's a very difficult character to read. You're not really performed beautifully by Jeremy Allen White. He doesn't know how he feels. He doesn't know how anybody else feels. No. He is so intense. His eyes are intense. Everything is intense about him. But you feel for him so much because you would just want him to make this bloody kitchen work.
I really like the episode where he has to cater the children's party and he realises that something's happened to the juice. That's a very funny bit.
That's a good bit.
Richie.
Cousin. Complex character that when he arrives, I was like, shut up. Just shut up.
Being
and
awful.
They're so good at just talking over each other. It's such a good, incredible show that they just talk to each other. Complex. Complex character.
A character I love, Sydney. I think Sydney's my favourite.
She's
so
I love her, but she's good. She just needs to calm down a little bit. She's too
but
intense
her performance, like Ayo Edebiri plays it, and I think she's so real. Like, you kind of start to
Yeah.
like her within a second of her appearing on screen.
Yeah.
She just
Oh,
feels
yeah.
so like
Yeah.
a real person. She's great.
Oh, and she does something. Oh my god! In that episode 7 is insane. You need to watch
Lionel
it.
Boyce plays Marcus, a character.
Incredible. Love him. He just starts with like trying to make some bread, and by the end he wants to make this like donut.
The episode where he's looking at donuts and wants to make donuts is so great, and his awful housemate with the book of colours.
With the Panto book of colours,
Tina.
Oh, Tina, love.
I hated her so much, and then there's an episode where
at the beginning,
when she makes that mashed potato, that's the point where you start to like.
Yeah,
she gets the.
It turns.
Oh. And the last one on here. Oh, I've not seen much of. So Sugar is the Carmi's sister. She's not been in much of the first 5 episodes.
No.
And so pretty good stuff, I reckon. The Bear, I'm a big fan of it, and so are you.
Yeah,
and I'll finish it soon.
Yeah, finish it.
Yeah. Right, shall we do a little review of a movie?
Yeah, let's do a review of a movie.
Boy. Right, so this is the Bob's Burgers movie. We're both big fans of Bob's Burgers. We talked last week about our favourite characters, and all of whom appear to some degree or another in this film. Similar to The Simpsons, they were threatening for years and years to make a Bob's Burgers movie before it finally became a reality. Was obviously, I think it's quite a big challenge because you're still making a show and then suddenly you have to produce a movie. I think this was made in conjunction with the 11th season of Bob's Burgers.
Okay.
Came out in May of this year. Was received really well critically. It's got an 88% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes, and I didn't research the audience score actually, but it's worth having a look at. The audience score is 89%, so even more popular with audiences who've seen it. But didn't set the world on fire financially. Cost $38 million to make and brought in theatrically $34.2 million. So it's just on the cusp of breaking even, and will probably, make its money back in other ways over time. But I don't know. I would have liked to have seen this do better. I wish that this had been a bit more of a smash.
Yeah. Especially of the kind of like quality of this film.
Yeah.
I think people maybe didn't give it the time of day because of previous experience of their favorite shows made into
I guess. I mean, it's
movies.
The Simpsons struggled.
The time as well, 2022.
Yeah, theatres.
Still like kind of like it was the beginning of 2022, so people maybe didn't go to the cinema so much, and then it's on Disney Plus now. So
hopefully go and watch. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it before we spoil it, because I mean, off the bat, I love it. I think it's a brilliant film. What do you think of it, Alex?
Oh, it's so good. It's really
it does
good.
everything you want Bob's Burgers to do. It's funny, it's emotional, it's heartfelt. It's about people that love each other, supporting each other.
And there's growth.
Yeah.
Like, by the end, there's, like, real growth from, like, especially one of my favourite characters.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
Yeah, definitely. Let's work through the plot a little bit. We open on Bob and Linda in their kitchen preparing to go and ask the manager of the bank for an extension on their loan. Bob is doing his talking to his burger routine as he's making a practice burger. And then he's upset that Linda says it's a practice burger. He doesn't want the burger to hit.
Yeah, he goes, no, don't listen to it.
And they go to the First Oceanside Savings Bank, and the manager says, absolutely not, you're not having any sort of an extension, despite offering him a burger. And he says that does he tell him he's a vegetarian? Or he's trying not to eat meat? Yeah. And like, why don't you have the chips at least? So they're going to get their restaurant equipment repossessed unless they can pay their loan in a week, which is impossible. So they're going to ask one of my favourite characters, Mr. Fishoder, for a skip for a month on the rent so that they can pay the loan. And Mr. Fishoder turns up in, like, a golf cart of some description with Felix, his brother, and Grover Fishoder. Keep an eye on Grover. Their lawyer. And Mr. Fishoder does his usual thing of being like, hello, the Belchers. As if he never remembers who anyone is. I love him. So they're just going to have to sell burgers like madmen to try and make this work. And unfortunately, an enormous sinkhole forms in front of the restaurant and stops that from happening. And apparently, if you watch season 12 of Bob's Burgers, which was the season that aired immediately prior to this movie, you can see the street starting to crumble away throughout that season, which is a lovely little touch, to eventually reveal the sinkhole, which is obviously a big problem. And what happens then? They want to go and explore the sinkhole. The town isn't going to cover up the sinkhole in any time significantly. Jean, Tina, and Louise, most importantly, decide that they want to go into the sinkhole to explore it. Mainly because Louise, there's a scene at school where Louise is bullied for being scared, for being a little baby.
Yeah, because she doesn't want to jump.
She doesn't want to do the where you hang upside down off the bars and then flip and land on your feet. I don't want to do that. And she's scared that her hat's going to fall off, which is obviously not okay. So to prove that she's not a baby, she's going to go into this sinkhole. And she gets Jean and Tina to film it. And she ends up falling in and does... when in her attempts to climb back up, she reveals a skeleton that's been buried beneath the street, and is it a tooth falls out of the skeleton and lands in her mouth?
Yeah,
which is
she keeps this tooth that just like keeps ending up in her mouth. Yeah.
So she keeps it because once a tooth's been in your mouth, that's your property, as far as she's concerned. Obviously, the discovery of a body beneath the sinkhole is going to delay it being covered up, so this is bad news for Bob and Linda. The police get involved. Sergeant Bosco turns up and then gets shooed away by the forensic team because he's not allowed to do homicide.
Oh, poor Sergeant Bosco. I like him.
And the big roadblock that comes up is that the identity of the skeleton is revealed to be a carny from the wharf owned by Mr. Fischoeder, and Mr. Fischoeder is arrested and charged with the murder on TV. And unless they can clear Mr. Fischoeder's name in time, the chances of them repaying this loan are almost zero. So therein lies the stakes for this film. Louise decides it's the job of the three children to clear Mr. Fischoeder's name. So they skip school in order to do an investigation where they go to various places, including Carney Town, where we meet Mickey, but not voiced this time by Bill Hader, which was one of the small disappointments of this film. Because originally that character was voiced by Bill Hader. And then there's this sequence. They go and find Sergeant Bosco, and he's staking out a biker club. I really like this scene where he's like, don't.
And they know.
And then the guy comes out and goes, "Hi, Sergeant Bosco." He's like, "How do they know?" And he's got his police light on top of the car, and his cup says Sergeant Bosco on it, and he's got his police badge on the dashboard. He's a very, very bad policeman.
I love it.
But I really like Sergeant Bosco. He's very, very good. So basically, ultimately, they end up in Wonder Wharf at the same time as Bob and Linda, who have allowed Teddy to build them a mobile burger cart. And another one of my favourite scenes in the film is Teddy showing off his burger cart, which he's named Bob Burgers in honour of the name, in honour of Bob's real name, which he thinks is Bob Burgers. And he's got a little. It's got an umbrella to protect from the sun and the rain, and it's got a little bowl for olives.
Olives. And the toothpick, and he's asking the people to give the toothpick back.
So they sneak that into Wonder Wharf and start selling, which is not okay because they're not allowed to do that. And they disturb a shrine to what's the name of I can't remember the name of the person who has been killed, and they don't say it here on the plot synopsis I'm reading. But so they basically destroy the shrine to this dead carny. And it leads to them getting chased around Wonder Wharf a bunch. Meanwhile, Louise, Jean, and Tina have found a secret room beneath the Molehill ride, which is like this secret clubhouse for the Fischoeders. And they get down there and discover that Felix and Calvin Fischoeder are planning to escape in a submarine.
Yeah. Because first of all, they think there was Felix that murdered and
Oh yeah, because they've been following Felix around, and they go to the Fischoeder house.
Yeah, but and Felix lives in a tree house.
I love the bit where they're like, "Quick, hide!" and Jean just like presses up against the wall.
Yeah. I love the treehouse because then they're like in that thing and they're just like, and he doesn't notice them, and the treehouse goes directly to the house. There's like this little,
it's like a dumbwaiter
thing. Oh, it's so lovely.
Yeah, Felix is a pretty good character.
Yeah,
and he's going to escape. Yeah, so they follow him. That's how they find their way beneath the molehill rod. They follow Felix, and Calvin's down there as well. And then Grover turns up, the family lawyer.
Yeah.
And ultimately,
with a lovely pink.
he's a very weird character. His voice is very odd.
Yeah.
He looks and sounds like a Muppet.
Yeah,
I think, Grover Fischoeder. There's a scene later where you see him climbing through a small window in a gym, and he's all flailing like he's a really strange character that they've created.
Yeah.
And I don't remember ever seeing him in the show. I don't know if he's ever in.
No, I think he's totally part of for this.
Yeah, or like I've not seen every season of Bob's Burgers yet because there's so much of it. So he might have popped up in a later season, but yeah, he was sort of new to me. And one of the clues for this crime is that inside the mouth of the skeleton that was found was a banana-shaped cufflink, and Louise ends up seeing a photo of all the Fischoeders together and sees in this photo that Grover Fischoeder was wearing the banana-shaped cufflink. So she realises that Grover is responsible for the murder. At this point, Bob and Linda fall into the clubhouse as well, having been chased around by the carnies for selling the burgers. So now Grover has got both Fischoeders, Bob and Linda, Jean, Tina, and Louise all under hostage, under threat of being killed with a harpoon gun that he's pointing at them, which is horrible. And basically he's going to frame Calvin. His plan was always to frame Mr. Fischoeder for this murder and then use it in order to redevelop the Wonder Wharf into like a high-end shopping area and stuff. And because what does he do? He buried the body expecting it to be dug up and identified.
In the morning, like, because he just left a little leg out.
He left us. He buried it in this pile of dirt, expecting people to be like, "Oh, look, there's a body in it," and instead they just like filled a hole in with it, so the body was lost forever. So that his plan had failed for 5 years, but then was reignited suddenly by the discovery and the sinkhole and stuff.
Yeah.
So he's going to burn down the molehill ride, kill everyone inside, get the family money, etc. And he's going to kill the Belchers as well. He puts Calvin and Felix in this submarine that they...
That submarine, they were going to escape it.
They thought they were going to escape in it, and it's from like a theme park ride. They're very fun. Their lack of...
They're really silly in this one. Like,
their lack of reality. Really funny. The way that they don't understand the real world really makes me laugh.
Yeah.
But they're always... Do you remember the episode where Felix designs a new toilet for the restaurant? And it's completely black, and the toilet doesn't have a seat, and there's no toilet roll. It's very good. So yeah, and then the Belchers escape underneath the wharf. They get into these ridiculous little cars.
That is the best
like
scene. I think it's just like and they try to escape with these like little cars and
like go-karts.
And then when they on the sand, they go really slowly, and they could just get out.
Well, they don't get out of it. And then they end up crashing and teetering over the sinkhole.
That's quite scary.
Yeah, it is a really scary. It's a really emotional bit. They fall into the sinkhole. Something has happened to the clam. It's been bashed around, so they can't open the door on it anymore.
Yeah.
So they're stuck inside this clam, and Grover is just... He's got a lobster, right? And he just buries them and then leaves.
Yeah,
and they're all in this thing panicking, and the dirt's falling and stuff, and they all start telling each other how much they love each other. I think this is the point where Louise reveals that she thinks that she wears the hat because she was scared on her first day of school. And is it that Bob and Linda are like, no, you just wear the hat because you like the hat. Is that, I can't remember the exact...
It's like, because I think Bob says that Louise really reminds him of his mother.
Yes.
And she always wore this pink hat.
Yes, and this is the first time we've ever seen Bob's mum in any form.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, and she always wore a hat like Louise's, so that's why he gave Louise the hat. And it's not because she was scared of school.
Such a lovely scene, isn't
beautiful.
it?
That's what I love about Bob's Burgers, is it's all it's all through the characters, and it's all about how much they love each other and support each other and stuff. It's so good. Obviously, only one man can. What do they do? Oh yeah, so one of the tires has come off the clam.
Yeah.
So it's just metal. And then they'd have been dead if this hadn't happened. Very luckily, they landed with the metal tire, the metal wheel, on the pipe, the water pipe. So he starts revving it, and it cuts through the pipe, and a big burst of water fires them up in the air. And Teddy arrives and helps uses
when they talk to each other and they can't hear each other. Yeah. Teddy's outside, go blah, 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 blah. And Teddy's like, and Bob's like, we can't hear you.
Why are you in the clam? What are you doing there? I want to be in the clam with you. And then he uses the tray from his cart. There's that great bit where he just runs at the clam with it and smashes it in and tries to he frees them. The police go and arrest Grover at the gym. Sergeant Bosco gets there first, which is a nice little moment for him. And the family are able to pay off the loan. And the only things we've not mentioned are there's a running thing with Tina and Jimmy Jr. where the first time I watched the movie, I really didn't follow this through, because there's this weird little necklace thing she's got that's got like a strange little pill-shaped thing on it that's somehow connected to Jimmy Jr. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I think the second time I watched it, I sort of was able to follow it better, but there's some issue between her and Jimmy Jr. that she's trying to sort out, and it involves her hallucinating a conversation with her imaginary horse friend, Jericho, who's voiced by Paul Rudd, which is something I enjoy quite a lot. Gene wants to perform with his band, the Itty Bitty Ditty Committee, at Wonder Wharf, and he's allowed to, thanks to the success of their plan to save Mr. Fishoder. There's a very good dream sequence where Gene imagines them headlining this show and aliens coming down and telling him that his music's terrible. And Louise's journey is the one that's more connected to the actual plot of the film, because it's all about how she doesn't want to be a coward and stuff and wants people to see her as a brave person, and she realises that none of that matters. So, that's it. They were able to pay off the loan because Mr. Fishoder let them off for a month's rent, because he really... Yeah,
it's just like...
He should just give them the restaurant at this point or something. Yeah. Like, he should really reward them for that, but he doesn't.
No, because he's not in this world. He's just in a different place.
Yeah. So, that's the plot of the film. It's a pretty great film. What were your favourite bits? What are your favourite moments?
I really like. So they can't get a loan, and Bob just goes, and he can't speak.
He's just panicking.
And Linda's trying her best to make him happy and everything is going to be fine, as Linda does.
All right.
It's smiley face, kissy face. It's Linda, stop it. And I think that's really nice. I don't know, the relationship with the three siblings is really good. And they follow, like I said, Louise in everything she does, because they're they need to do things together. Just the little things about they're when they're chasing each other in the pier, under the pier, and they find all these horses. And Tina just goes, every time they hit a horse. Oh, no. Oh, no, no. What? It's just kind of it's not needed, but it adds so much to kind of the character. No, oh, no, oh. And I love the fact that by the end of the film, Tina, Louise, and Jean kind of change.
Yeah, they all have a little journey.
There's the moment where Louise loses her ears. and it's fine. Like, it would have not been fine any other
Yeah.
time, but she's like, oh, it's fine. And then Tina does whatever. I don't know if it's a spoiler, but we have spoiled it a little bit. She kisses Jimmy Jr. And so it's just like they've evolved, and it's quite nice to see in an animated series that is not always the same.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's just so well made. Like, it's beautiful to look at.
Yeah, it is. The animation is, they've stepped up the
It's
animation. It's
so
amazing. It looks
beautiful.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Was there anything that didn't work for you?
Like the thing about the necklace, I didn't like when you said, it's like that completely skipped my mind.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be like her hair clip or something.
It was like a hair clip, but she'd given it to him. I feel like they wanted each of the 3 children, they wanted each of the main characters really to have a journey in the film.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the arc they decided to have for her didn't fully work because Jimmy Jr.'s not in the movie. He doesn't have a reason to be in the film much. So we didn't see much of Jimmy Jr. And it's a lot to do with her internal sort of struggle.
Yeah.
And it's sort of... it's all done through this necklace thing, and it didn't quite work.
Yeah. But then, we know the struggle of Tina, that she loves Jimmy Jr. and she never told him. So I didn't really like the songs that much.
I wanted it to be a musical.
I didn't see the point.
Like, I really wanted, like, I love the songs in the show, and I was hoping that this film would feel like a Disney animated musical with, like, quite a lot of musical numbers all the way through, and it doesn't have many. It's got 4 songs in it, I think. And
they're so, like, in random moments that they don't really...
Yeah. And one of the 4 songs is terrible. So the thing that didn't work for me in the movie is I find whoever's doing the voice of Grover Fishoder, I find his voice too irritating to be funny.
That song.
And there's a bit where he explains his evil plan through a song.
Yeah.
And it's not
that
a good
was really
song.
weird moment.
It's not funny.
Yeah.
And I felt like the story's good because it follows the Fishoders and stuff, and I like the Fishoders, and it's it all works well enough, except that this inclusion of this character Grover as being the ultimate villain didn't quite fully pan out for me because I didn't find him very interesting or funny. And also, it's kind of exactly the same plot as the finale to one of the earlier seasons is all about Wonderwolf, like Felix trying to destroy Wonderwolf, and they end up trapped underneath it and things like this, and it's quite similar in a way, which isn't the worst thing in the world. It's different enough, but Grover Fishoder and that one song particularly didn't work for me. But anything to do with Teddy worked for me a lot. And we get some good Teddy stuff.
Of course, he's so silly. Like his cart, when the cart's destroyed, and he goes, "Oh no, what have we done?" Oh, and then there's the hockey. He wants to watch the hockey. He's like, "I'm not abandoning you. I'm just, I'm coming back." Yeah, but as an animated movie, I think it worked and it was entertaining, and I enjoyed it.
Did you notice? So I've written some trivia stuff, but I've actually mentioned most of it as we've been talking, like the sidewalk crumbling, Paul Rudd voicing the horse. But did you notice a major character from the show appearing but not having any lines in this? Jimmy Pesto.
No.
Yeah, Jimmy Pesto doesn't have any lines because the actor has been fired due to being present at the January 6th insurrection riot in the Capitol in America. So
what?
So Jimmy Pesto is no longer voiced on Bob's Burgers because the actor has been was present at the January 6th riots. Bonkers.
That's insane.
Yeah. But he was never my favourite character, so it's fine.
Yeah.
He's a bit too, like, the thing I love about Bob's Burgers is how much everyone supports and respects each other. And he's a little bit too much negative friction for me, Jimmy Pesto.
Yeah.
I'll take the art shop owners as like the main voice of negativity. Yeah. There were some burgers of the day in this.
Oh.
The burgers of the day are between a Brock and a Charred Place burger, which is pretty good. Hole in My Heart burgers, which comes with artichoke heart chutney, and Crying All the Time burger.
You know, I didn't even note, like, usually is one of the first things I see when I watch the series, and I didn't even look at that.
Wow, there you go. It's because there's so much else to look at in this
film.
Yeah, it's pretty great. There's also, I'm trying to get it up now, but there's also the Exterminator shop has a, what's it called? The Pest Years of Our Lives is the name of the Exterminator in this one. And the other shop that always has a different business is called So You Think You Can Pants Alterations. So spelled SEW. Pretty good stuff. I would give this 5 burgers out of 5. What would you give it?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe came out at the wrong time
Yeah.
for, money-wise, but I think a lot of people will watch it on Disney+.
It's there on Disney+. And just so that everyone is suitably prepared, let's see what doesthedogdie.com says about this movie. So, is someone stalked? Yes. Characters walk through other people's homes and follow them around, although it's not portrayed as scary. There you go. Is someone tortured? Yes. Multiple characters towards the end are held hostage and have a gun pointed at them. Others are forced into a submarine that is stuck at the bottom of the ocean, and others are buried alive. Are any teeth damaged? Yes. No teeth are damaged, but there is a scene where a dead person's teeth falls into a live person's mouth. Okay. Is there genital trauma / mutilation? Yes. Linda punches Bob in the testicles twice. Is someone buried alive? Yes. That's fair. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's not, especially when, because the earth comes down. I was like, oh, I hope they stop. I hope he hasn't got enough earth, but it just went a bit dark there, didn't it?
Does someone struggle to breathe? Yeah. Yes. Although they are buried alive, there's no scene of them struggling to breathe, but they do mention the fact that they need to use as little oxygen as possible, but they escape before oxygen is an actual problem. Is someone kidnapped? Yes. Characters are held hostage in the climax of the movie. Is a child's toy destroyed? Yes. Are there jump scares? I guess yes. I guess the scene where Tina is looking at the crazy mirror and something breaks behind it suddenly could be considered a mild jump scare. Does someone fart or spit? Yes. One fart, but with no audio, you just see people's disgusted reaction to it.
I think it's Gene.
Yeah. Does someone wet or soil themselves? Yes. Bob at one point wets himself.
No, that's not that. That's the water from the pipe.
Look, does the dogdie.com says yes. Are there anxiety attacks? Yes. Linda and Tina panic at various parts. Bob panics the most. Bob has the whole... Is there a claustrophobic scene? Yes. C, is someone buried alive for details. Are there flashing lights or images? Yes. And is there sexual content? Yes. Mild references. Does a car crash? Yes. During the climax, there are cars crashing against each other multiple times. Does a car honk or tyres screech? Yes. Is there gun violence? Yes. The film opens with a gunshot that's not seen. We see the flash of the gun reflected on some nearby carnival prize teddies. Later, the actual shot and impact is mildly depicted in a badly drawn cartoon. That's your lot. So if you can handle all of that, the Bob's Burgers movie will be for you. I don't mean to make light of triggering things. That's a really good website. I'd recommend people use it. Yeah. Good stuff. Great movie. So, thank you so much for joining us today for the Bob's Burgers movie review and Culture Catch-Up. Loads of cool stuff we've talked about today. I think hopefully some things you can take away and watch and listen to and explore. And if I was going to recommend somebody, one of the things or two of the things we've talked about this week, I would say people should probably skip the movies I've watched, unfortunately, but go and watch She-Hulk. It's pretty incredible. I really like it, and I want to talk more about it, so I hope Alex watches it soon. And Return of the Dream Canteen, the new Chili Peppers album. It's had some sniffy reviews of people being a bit like, it's Chili Peppers is normal kind of stuff. But I don't think it is. I think there's a few more interesting textures and stuff they're doing, and it's a cool album. It's long, but go and listen to it. What would you recommend, Alex?
So this week I would recommend for you to go on Amazon Prime and watch Catherine Called Birdy. It's a lovely, lovely film. And I would recommend again the same thing that George recommended last week, which is the series on Disney Plus, The Bear. watch it. Don't binge it, because I miss it already. So
Yeah, good. Well, thank you, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. We've enjoyed our time with you. Go and rate and review us, please, and it'll be a pleasure to see you again. Goodbye. I love you very much. I hope you're well.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Hey folks, just dropping in to let you know that we are taking a short-ish break through the rest of November and the start of December, but we will be back on the 22nd of December, just before Christmas, in time to talk about our favourite pop culture of the year, movies, music, TV, games, etc. So please look out for that, and we look forward to being back with you very soon, and enjoy your holiday season. Love you.